and work on stories and do things like that all on the computer. This right here is the assignment desk. An assignment desk is an area where we have what's called assignment editors. They're sort of like shift managers. They're the people who decide who goes out on what stories. So if there's a big event happening downtown, they'll send people out in the field and they sort of determine where people go and what they do for the day. They also have the ability to listen to scanners, and so we have all the scanners turned up here. And this is all just the happenings that are going on around the city. All of the scanner chat, or what we call is like communication for fire departments and police departments and things like that. And then they can listen to fires and things like that and find out if things are going on around town and send people out to cover it.
How many different channels do y'all have that actually y'all listen to at one time? Is that how that works?
I don't know, but yes.
Okay.
There are, there's a lot of channels for every district. So normally, like, Erie County, the Erie County Fire Department has maybe 5 or 6 channels, and some of them are allocated for like car-to-car communication, and some of them are for car-to-base station communication, where they'll talk with their main, dispatch system, and so we can intercept all of that and listen to all the conversations that they're having. Huh? Well, right now they're producing stories. They're producing news stories, so they're writing scripts. A lot of them just got back from shooting video. You can see there's a tripod right there. Meg Ross is a reporter who just came back from trial. She was at the Hassan trial, the man who was accused of murder. So she's writing up the story. You didn't do Hassan, did you? You did Sabres. Oh, the Sabres press conference, where the Sabres are being sold. Sorry, Meg, that's Kevin's job, right? He's still out there. So she went out there and she talked with people on the scene, and she got their comments on tape, and she comes back and she edits the video, and we always shoot a lot more than we need, and so we string it together into much smaller pieces so that we can use it later on. Okay. Gotcha. Very cool. Cool, good.
What are Macs used for?
The Macs are used for ingesting video. So what everybody shoots on now is we don't have tapes like when you record on a home camcorder, if you have it. Usually you record in tape, but right now we record to what's called SD cards. They're actually like USB thumb drives, almost the same kind of technology. It's all data-driven, so we import video into the Mac through Final Cut Pro, and then we export them out into our content management system, which people can use to edit video and do all the stories that they need to do.
Final Cut Pro.
Video. Okay, very good, very good. Well, Macintosh comes with a very good editing suite called iMovie, and that does a pretty good job too.
Vegas.
Okay, Sony Vegas, that's a good product too.
Yeah.
Yep. And once you get used to it, they're all pretty much the same, really. Yeah. This is Master Control. So this is actually the outbound air path right now. This is what we're actually broadcasting over the air. You can see up along the top here, you can see all these small little, what look like smaller little pictures, with the names of cities on them. Those are all of our sister stations. So we have what's called an affiliate network, where we all work together to produce a newscast across the state. That newscast has elements from New York City, from Albany, from Syracuse, from Rochester, from Jamestown, and we get all of that content comes in live via fiber. Does anyone know what fiber is? Fiber transmission, fiber communication? Anybody ever heard of it?
Peter, you should know that.
Peter, you have files at your house.
Yeah. Fiber is a very, very thin piece of glass, like that thick, very, very small, and it stretches for miles and miles. And yes, 24/7. That's what we are.
Are people in here all day?
This microphone is
The stories get repeated every now and then, Jacob.
The anchor.
They're not
We have an
in
anchor
here
studio,
all
and the
day.
anchor actually puts an earpiece in their ear, And when we need to talk to them, we just press this button and we talk to them in the microphone and they can hear us in their ear. You'll see a lot of anchors like on CNN or Fox News or MSNBC. You'll see like a little coiled piece of tube that leads up to their ear. That's an earpiece. Yep. And so they can actually hear directions from us or from people in the in the back room, telling them what to do or when they're live or when they're not. That way they know what's going on and they can they can get directions.
Reminds me of in the Matrix when that guy has to escape.
Right now they don't have anything fed to us.
The agents.
So these are on 24
there.
hours a day, 7 days a week. But from our sister stations, we don't always need content. Usually we get things on a needed basis. So we'll call them up and say, hey, can you feed us down a story about something that happened in Syracuse that was very interesting? And they'll route it up, they'll get it all set up for us, and then they'll say, okay, we're feeding now, and then we'll start rolling on it here, and we'll take it in as needed. But when it's not needed, it's blank.
Are you taking it over again?
It's all digital. So it's actually, yeah.
Y'all pretty much saved it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Y'all can replay it.
That dude doing that live.
Exactly.
Or are you replaying it live?
We will take it in and we'll record it, and then we will turn it around and play it out as a pre-taped environment.
That dude doing that right now.
In the bottom right-hand corner there?
No, the dude.
The dude that's on TV is not. No, that's pre-recorded. He's from Syracuse, Michael Gould. He lives in Syracuse, he works in Syracuse, and whenever we need new weathers, he's able to see what the weather's like here because he has a weather program and he looks at weather satellites and analyzes the weather for Buffalo and for Syracuse and for Albany. And whenever we need a new weather, he'll just get up in front of his weather wall in Syracuse and it'll be fed to us over fiber.
Now, I got a question for you. Do he actually read the weather or do a tech actually read it for him?
He reads it. He is a certified meteorologist. He has a degree in meteorology. He looks at the maps. He does all of the meteorology work, and then he goes up there and he builds a slideshow, and he presents the weather. And his findings of what the weather are.
Is there some kind of tech that actually do the weather?
There's a difference between a meteorologist and a weather person. If you see a meteorologist, that means that they have a degree. They went to school to study the weather and they know what they're talking about when they're talking about high pressure and low pressure and cold fronts and things like that. A weather person usually has a scientist behind them, like if you call it a weatherman or a weather girl, weather woman, that would be someone who is more just a presenter. And they've actually been, told what the weather's going to be like by someone who's trained. That is what we call our confidence feed. That is a return from cable. So there's actually delay that's always added whenever you're sending a signal over cables and through processing equipment and things like that. So this is really, whenever you see something that's live from CNN or live from Fox News or something like that, it's actually delayed by a few seconds, sometimes even 30 seconds. Well, it's actually just a delay from equipment that has to process it. The more stops it takes along its route to get into your home, the slower it takes.
Earth to Mars has like an 8-minute delay,
Well,
right?
she's actually live right now. So she's taping right now her broadcast that she will then turn around. What's that? No, it's not. But she's doing something for the air. Hold on a little bit. Oh, thanks, So Franco right here, right now, is going to be taking in a feed from Albany. It looks like we've got something coming in from, it looks like something with the governor. So they probably take something with Andrew Cuomo and Albany, and they're going to feed it to us right now. So they called us on the phone, and they said, hey, we've got something to feed to you. He's going to call up and start a recording, and we're going to take it in from that. And that'll play in a moment or two. And then we record it, and then we turn it around, and we add it into our playlist, and it plays out to air. Yeah.
Is it true that when they do the weather, just like a green board?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's actually a green screen. It's a solid color of green, and they have a machine that takes all the green elements of the picture and removes them and replaces them with the weather map. The reason that they pick green, and oftentimes they pick blue too, is because there is no green or blue in your facial complexion. And if there were, like if they picked a color like orange or something like that, which is kind of you know, we kind of have red faces and everybody, you know, tends to have that, people would become invisible. And, you know, a lot of people, when they walk in front of a green screen wearing a green shirt like what you have, their shirt comes invisible. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have one of those here, but
my camouflage should probably be invisible.
So sometimes, you know, we get stuff from other stations.
Tomorrow at school, we're allowed to wear Packers or Steelers colors. The teacher was like, you can wear Green Bay or
specifically who wants to send us some video, which sometimes happens, they can send it on any of these formats and we can take it in and record it. And that's pretty much it for Master. It looks like our main studio is being used right now, but I can take you into the other studio.
They actually practice their performance before they go on?
Sometimes they do. No, we aren't really a live format. We, everything is pre-taped here, and that helps us be 24 hours. I mean, we can't have an anchor sitting behind the desk 24 hours a day reading the news. So they tape all of it, and then they put it on air so that they can go home at the end of the night, you know, so...
Now see the Albany being...
Exactly. Yep, and that's being fed to us from them, and we're recording on it right now.
And I'm person that's in the studio now. Are we able to see that person painting or whatever, or no?
Sure, yeah, she's right here. So if you... Yep, this is Jen Markham, our evening anchor.
She's in there right now doing that.
And what she's doing right now is not exactly what you see on air. What she's doing is recording all of her anchor elements, basically all the things that the anchor would say on air in between other stories and, you know, in between commercial breaks and things like that. And it looks like she's done now, so she stopped the recording and she's going to walk back out here and assemble it all.
There she is.
Yeah, there she is. See? Yeah. Oh, one other thing at Master.
Are they watching the favorite game? I mean, sports games, you know, they're Rocky.
Everybody wants to be a sportscaster. That's because they can watch sports all day long. All of the elements that she recorded are broken down into really small little segments, usually about a minute long at most. All those elements are stacked one after the other to in what would look kind of like an iTunes playlist. So, you know, if you stack one song and then another song and then another song and another song, they'll all play out in order. We do the exact same thing here with short little elements that all play after each other to make it look like it's actually a live newscast. So, you know, they basically assemble it all together and then they put it in more or less an iTunes playlist for all intents and purposes, and that all plays out one after the other. Down the line.
They should put it on shuffle.
Exactly.
Now I got a question. No touching. Okay. Make sure.
That's okay.
We don't want to cause no fiasco here.
Yeah.
Is there like a beginner's program that does like a master control type of thing that you could kind of like...
To like set up a small TV station?
Yeah, small TV station type of thing.
I don't know of anything like that, no. Yeah.
Are we going to be able to see, like, the studio where they, like...
Of course, we're going to go there right now.
Film the
Not the weather. No. We don't have the weather studio. I'm sorry. I wish we did.
Yay! We thought it would be like in one...
No. It's actually in Syracuse. That's sports, right? Yes. Yes, out in Lackawanna. This is the sports office. Yep. So they have the ability to watch games, and they can also record them into the system here. They're very busy right now because, you know, we just had the Sabres announcement, so they're covering a lot of that. Yeah. But they're yeah. We don't really have very hard deadlines. We're not a traditional television station. You know, because we're 24 hours, you know, we can always put it in like a half hour or so. So it's usually, you know, they have a soft deadline of around 5 o'clock normal. But, you know, if it comes in a little bit later because of extenuating circumstances, that's okay. You know, it's because we can always, you know, put it in a little bit later. Yep, so they're pretty close to deadline. This is our anchor studio, Studio A. We have another TV screen right here, where the anchor sits down, and yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Don't they have the ones with the scroll and then it goes up?
They do, yes. So the anchor sits behind the desk here, and you know, the anchor's usually just finished typing up all the stories and all the scripts and editing and making sure that everything is news ready. And they will load their scripts into their teleprompter. The teleprompter is this device right here sitting in front of the camera.
Wait, so he's going to be in the news?
It's kind of hard to see the camera because there's a teleprompter in front of it. It's that mirror-looking glass thing with the television screen on the bottom. Now, the anchor also runs their own teleprompter. So what they do is if they turn this little dial left or right, the words start scrolling. Now, you can see that you're on camera right now, and you can see the words that are scrolling across the screen here, but you can't see them on the camera. That's because it's a double image. It's a single way, it's a one-way mirror that allows the camera that's on the other side of that glass to see you without seeing the letters, but you can see the letters. The anchors also, once they've loaded up their scripts and they know what to say, then they go to another tool right here where they can set up their own camera shot. So this tool right here allows you to zoom in and out. Let's speed up a little bit.
Why does that button say lights on?
Because it turns the lights on. Look at that. And now it says lights off. So you can turn the lights on and off. They can dial into they can dial a phone number if they need to through this system, so that they could receive like instructions from a control room that's in Rochester or in Syracuse or somewhere else. But they can also control the camera, and so they set their own shot.
So are we going to be on the news? No, we're not going to be on the news.
Do you have any questions?
Program site visits news station. Program site visits news station.
It's a picture that's made by our graphics department, and it's vinyl. It's actually the same kind of material that you would use like on a pool. Well, no, because you might leave fingerprints on it. It's very similar to like an above-ground pool type material. It's that same kind of vinyl, but it's printed on, and there are lights in the background. And if they want to change them, they simply press this button. Sorry, we need this button. And they can raise it and lower it and add another one. And we have a few rolls of different backgrounds that you can change.
Yeah, they didn't show us that last time.
Automatic.
Well, there's nothing left. It's the sun.
Here. There you go. All right. They also set their own audio levels. So this is also an audio board, and they put on a microphone. They have a small little microphone. This is called a lavalier mic. A lavalier mic is one that you clip to your lapel. They also call it a lapel mic.
Look at her.
And it's very small and inconspicuous. You can actually see it on her it's like right about there on her.
So it's like she's looking at one of these things. Oh, so they can't see it. I love it.
Exactly. It's very inconspicuous, and it makes it look like you don't actually have a microphone on. But you still need to be heard, so they set that up that way.
It's like you can see that person's on right now.
Yep.
I don't want to do this. I'm not doing this when I grow up. I don't want to stare at the screen.
Well, at least you know it's one of the 1,000 jobs you won't be doing. Now you got another 1,000 possibilities.
Well, you know, when a lot of people, when people hear about TV and TV jobs and things like that, they always think about the anchor that sits behind the desk or the person out in the field that reads. But, you know, there's a lot more jobs in TV than just that. I mean, there's my job. I manage the whole entire facility, making sure that the vehicles all have, you know, registration and making sure that their tires are changed, making sure that all making sure that
I didn't know you did all that.
Making sure that the cameras are repaired and that everything works. I mean,
can't have the repo crew in the
last week some lights flew in this front light fixture, and I had to replace them. You know, there's and I also coordinate and build new systems here. You know, whenever they whenever they need something new, I'm the one who designs it, and I set it up and I implement it and make sure that it's going to work for everybody and make sure that it achieves the goal that we need it to achieve.
No, where's the camera, like, to face down and record it? Wonder here.
In here?
Yeah.
It's behind that glass.
Oh, it's behind this?
Yep.
Behind the letters.
Yep.
Oh.
So the reason it's like that, it has to be darker where the camera is, and that's why it has that hood over around it. And it's very hard to see the camera inside there. It's like, you know, if you're outside on a really sunny day and you're trying to look into a home or something like that inside of a glass window, you can't really see what's going on inside. And that's because it's so much brighter outside that all the light reflects back to you, but people from inside can see you. So it's the same sort of thing right here, where the camera is sort of indoors and we're outdoors and we see reflection, but the camera can see through just fine and see us.
Okay.
I didn't know you did it. You did it all.
I do it all.
Truck? Like, wow.
Yeah.
I thought I did like.
What's this?
Yeah.
This is the computer system that the anchor uses to set their own shot. Notice how if I press up here, the camera shot raises.
Oh yeah, let's take a
Notice
picture
how if
of
I
the
press
wall.
down, it goes down. And I can pan right and left.
But you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to show them that I'm doing this.
No. So what they do is they frame up a shot that looks something like this.
That's why.
So you can't see their feet.
There you go.
But then how do you get two people on?
So let's go into the other room. I'll show you guys the cameras. If the cameras break or things like that go down, then we have to fix them. These are the cameras that the reporters use out in the field. This is about an $8,000 camera or so.
We shot had some extras.
What's that?
Don't they put those up on the van?
Well, we sometimes
That's a good
use
question for us,
satellite vans or satellite trucks with these. If we want to transmit live.
Y'all got any extra ones y'all throwing out? We'll take them.
Sorry, no. We're trying to get more, actually. When these break, we either send them out back to the manufacturer or we fix them ourselves. I mean, they come apart and you can fix them. And we
What
have.
if they break out in the field?
Well, they'll have to bring them back.
Probably bring an extra with them.
Not always. I mean, all the stories, all the video that they shoot gets recorded in these little cards. And these run on the same technology as like a USB thumb drive. It's called compact flash.
You know what that look like?
Right in the middle of it, like taping something.
So then they're probably pretty sunk. They'll have to come back.
That look like a PCM CIA card.
It is a PCM CIA card.
Is it?
It is.
Really?
It has a little logo on it.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh.
Yep.
That's a 16 gig.
16 gig. And these,
On that kind of camera, how long does that record?
on this camera, that records for about 136 minutes between two cards, I want to say.
Wow.
So
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. And they're hot swappable, so you can take them out. You know, if you're not recording to one of them at the time, then you can pop it out.
How many slots do they have? Is it just
It has
one
two.
slot? Oh, it has two.
slots. Yep.
Okay.
Because I get about 3 hours on my 8 gig on this.
Okay. Yeah.
And you said that's like an $8,000 camera?
The camera's $8,000. The cards are $800 a piece.
We gonna have to sell
You get 3 hours. How long do those cards get?
Yeah.
Oh wait.
That's a lot better than the cameras that you guys used to have.
Yeah.
What are those little green things
Well, they'll
deposited
drop
here?
it. Oh,
That's what green things.
These green little rectangles.
can't see it.
How much do those weigh compared to the old style?
Oh, they're very light. Very light. It's only about 10 pounds. Whereas
Really?
the old style one would be about 35 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you have less
Things are light
reports.
bulbs.
I'm not
So you have less reports of like injured
Whenever
backs and all that.
Or something like that, you know.
Wow.
Yes.
Where's her, how does it go on?
I'll give it to him and then I'll let him do it.
Sure. Yeah. It's yeah, those green. The green things like the flat green thing? Oh, those are lens cloths. That's for like, you know, if your lens is dirty or something like that.
Like a light bulb.
Yeah. Here.
Oh, he means those little boxes in the back.
Here, let's turn it off.
When you turn the back,
What do you think we can get for $5,000
How do you
You know, these cameras right here
Yeah,
have a predecessor by Panasonic that uses tape, and since P2 came out, tape is kind of not in favor anymore.
Because you get some used ones.
Yeah, so you could probably pick up a used one for $300 or $400
What
very
type of
easily.
tape is
That's quality. Mini DV.
Mini
tape.
DV?
Yeah, the small tape. That's
Yeah, we're trying to get away from that kind of stuff because we have a one that records the mini DVDs. All our videos have that whirring noise from the DVD spinning.
This isn't DVD.
No,
it's mini DV tape.
Either way, though, you're still gonna get that like motor sound.
No, I've rolled on tape for many years before video, before doing digital acquisition, and you don't get that as long as the tape transport mechanism is really quiet. I mean, if you have one that's going, it's going to die soon. It starts to make some noise, but usually you can't hear it.
Why do they have a picture of that?
Of what?
Of colors.
Those are called color bars. We use that to calibrate. Those are all the different colors that a TV screen can depict.
You're making your whites whites, blues blues.
Exactly, yes. So we use that to calibrate what we do. And you can actually see it on the cameras themselves. We can output them.
Oh, sweet.
You see that? So that way, we have the ability to send a signal down the pipeline that, this is pure white, and this is pure black, and these are all the colors in between that a TV camera can process.
So it can't process those colors?
It can, because all of those colors are in between these colors, but these are the solid, pure colors that it can depict.
So what happened if both of those batteries died and you were outside?
Huh?
Like if you were processing like a video, and both of the batteries died, what would you do?
Well, hopefully you have more. Or you go back in.
Yeah.
We get about 5 hours of recording time per battery. So we keep 2 batteries. It lasts for about a year, and then it starts to degrade after a while. But I've never had anyone ever complain about losing or running out of space on a card or running out of batteries in the field, because a lot of people say that they're out shooting for 8 hours, but you only have the camera on for 20 minutes of those 8 hours because you're waiting for something to happen and your camera's off while you're doing that, or yes.
How does a camera go on to the stand?
Sure. So everyone has a tripod, and the tripods.
Are those expensive?
These tripods right here, the tripod itself is about $600, and the head is about $200. You can get much cheaper tripods.
So that would be like $800.
Yeah, mine was $20.
Huh?
I like my price better.
Wow, $1,500. Of course it's $20.
John, how much is Pat's tripod?
You mean Curtis's tripod?
Well, it can go pretty high.
That's Curtis's camera.
Oh, so that you don't have to bend over or anything.
That's right. And our reporters in the field don't have a cameraman. They all go out by themselves. And so when they need to record a story or...
I always thought they had a cameraman.
See? We try to make it look like they don't. So they work very hard to shoot all their stuff and get all their interviews and everything like that, and then edit it later on. Now, when it's time for them to actually do what we call their stand-up, where you see the reporter in front of the camera with the microphone talking in and introing or saying something about the story, they'll flip the little lens around right here, the little screen, and they'll stand in front of it, and they'll do their shot. And they can see themselves and get themselves all framed up and set up so they know what they're doing. And they look good, and their hair's all right,
have, like,
their makeup's on okay.
Yeah, you see it when they doing the testing and stuff, they be like...
Now, are those, can those be remotely controlled at all, or...?
They can. A lot of people don't. What they prefer to do is just set it up and make it look right. It takes the time to frame themselves up and then start recording and go back.
But they can be remotely controlled,
yes.
Okay.
So what if while they're filming, they gotta, move it towards, they gotta move it down?
They'll usually stop what they're doing, and then they'll readjust it, and then they'll stand and do it over again.
Now I got a question about the mics that's being used. How does that work with because the ones that they hold in their hand, is that the inputs for...
Yes, these are the inputs for the microphone.
What kind of inputs do they call?
This is called XLR. XLR.
That's what we use for our soundboard for the dances.
Yeah, okay. XLR. Okay.
And are the microphones wireless?
So that's just
we do have wireless microphones. Most people don't, though. They usually use wired microphones. And the reason for that is that, a lot of times you're in areas where there's a lot of interference.
Some people here could use both.
Yes.
If they want sometimes to use wireless mic, they could use a wireless mic, and if they want to use a wired, they could use a wired.
Exactly. Yep. See, wireless mics are a lot more convenient, but you know they require batteries and they require maintenance. And sometimes, you know, if you're in a situation where there's interference, you're going to wind up with losing the sound that you needed to gather. So wired microphones are much more reliable. They're a little less convenient because you know you have to drag the cable out and plug it in and make sure everything's set up with that.
Right.
But once you've established a connection, there's very few things that can go wrong.
What if a little kid just came running to you?
Well, that would be a problem.
You'd probably be a kid
What if you
something
could
else.
hit the channel?
That's why we're not live.
Yeah, exactly. Is your software good enough that you can edit the little kid running throughout?
No, not if he's already on tape. They'd have to re-record it. What they...
That would do the whole show.
Like those people that run behind a newscaster and start waving high and...
A lot of that stuff happens because it's live. You know, clearly if a newscaster is you know doing something that's not live, not that they're recording for later, they'll wait for the kid to leave or tell the kid to you know
Beat
go
it,
home,
kid.
get out of here, and then they'll redo it.
Yeah, you can't say that.
That's why you never hear nobody swearing on the news.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that too.
Sometimes you do though.
In the background, they don't catch it.
Or you know, it's live.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
I got a weird question.
Everybody, like the Sabres game. Like the Sabres game.
What's your weird question?
You know how much that cost?
How much what?
That drill cost.
This drill?
Yeah.
Stop
Like
stirring.
$30 or something?
Home
That's a weird
Depot.
question.
Home Depot.
Why do you ask that? How do it?
Because Casey's into power tools and stuff.
What if,
Yeah.
that would be funny if the little kid did come running through on a live thing, and he kept bugging the people.
There's a lot of stuff like that on YouTube.
Would they actually pick a kid up and...
Yeah, it is.
What they
Yeah.
fake it? They fake it? Oh, wow.
Shot bloopers, you'd probably find a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah, stuff somebody...
Don't do it at the
Parents'
club, please.
permission, of course.
No,
I was going to say, don't do it at the
Or
club.
watch it on the world's dumbest.
There you go.
I saw, a news reporter get shot. Good thing for me to do on my iPod.
That's not
If you go,
to me.
How do
they
people
beat
like
the player
do
so
fake
fast if
things?
it was live?
Like people do
It was on
fake
TV.
videos that make it like look like real.
Like dress up in a suit
on YouTube.
No, just
like
computer
that
animated.
Justin Bieber video.
That's basically.
What is those?
It looks real.
These are lights.
You are a fool, dude.
These are all the broken lights. They're all
Like
held
throw it at the ground
together.
and break it.
Oh, so you just put it in a bucket?
Well, we just keep them, you know, the light parts still
Well,
work.
so you can use the other stuff that's still
Yeah,
on.
so we use some parts, or, you know, I mean, the light part still works, so sometimes I use it as a flashlight if I need to, you know.
Cool.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys another spot real fast. And for this one, this is a very delicate area of our TV station, so I'll need you all to keep your hands in your pockets and just make sure
Yeah, Jacob.
Jake.
No.
This room is climate controlled because it has a lot of computers in it, and computers, when they're processing data, generate heat. If the heat were to die in here, and it has before, this room would reach over 100 degrees in 20 minutes.
Whoa.
And it has happened. And all the servers start falling apart and dying. It usually happens at around 5 in the morning on a Saturday when I'm asleep. But you know, and I have to wake up and run in and fix it all. But
That's why it goes out when you watch TV.
sometimes that can
I
happen.
just stayed up all night. I changed the channel.
Yeah. Now, all of these are what are called servers. And servers are basically specialized computers that process and handle data. So whenever people do things in the other room, whenever they're typing on their computer or they're surfing the internet, all the real work is happening back here. And so that allows for a really fast processing time. It also allows for us to have, whenever we take something in, it's available to everyone all at the same time because all of these servers are connected to the computers in the other room. So if we take in a piece of video, say that piece of video that came in from Albany earlier, everyone has it immediately.
Already?
Because the server processes it. It was ready. People could edit it as it was coming in. So before they were even done with it, people could see it.
Is that a live picture of the other?
Yes, it is.
Clarity of
Yep.
servers.
And let's see.
Oh, hit that button.
So we're getting this as a feed coming in from Rochester, and this is what the weather really looks like. So they have a weather box in Rochester where they can see what the weather's like. this is live.
So right now it's saying that nothing.
There is no snow anywhere. There's not a cloud in the sky.
No, it's not a cloud.
There might be clouds, but there's no precipitation.
This is our netgear here. This is a NAS system?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It also has FTP ability, so we send things whenever we need to send something to a sister station or to CNN or something like that, which happens sometimes. Yeah, we put it up on that, and then we give them the credentials from outside, and they can access it.
Oh, they can access it like that? That's
exactly.
And how do you know where something's being recorded?
What's that?
How do you know where something's being recorded?
I know because I'm a computer guy. I can look at the computers and on the inside and scan the log files and see what happens.
What's your storage capacity like?
We have 2.5 terabytes on our production storage system, which is this. The storage system has...
I have 2.5 terabytes in my home gaming computer. It's almost full too.
Wow. That's
on there.
It's about 2 or 3 weeks worth of video if you were to play it all out at once.
My HD recordings from my PS3.
You'll eventually delete it, yes.
You record yourself that much?
They'll have some deliberations and that'll be over.
Every game I ever played.
It's at Erie County Court.
How the people make the videos, like, how they, edit it?
I might, yeah. It's rather complicated, a lot more than I can show in a single, session here. Our content management system does a lot more than just edit video. You can write scripts in it, you can make CGs, which a CG is, this is a CG. It's called computer-generated graphics. This little time and temperature thing. We can add things like that in, or the lower third, which is like the name and title bar that comes up.
Are you like what's that? Are there more than one of these?
We have tickers too. Yep, we can generate those.
What's that black thing?
What's black thing? This is what's called a waveform monitor. So remember how I told you that color bars break down into pure colors? Let me see if I have them here. Bars, I don't have it. So let me just route it up real fast. Okay, so color bars, if you look at this little screen right here, it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like a set of stairs going down. And that's because it's processing all the pure colors from right to left. White is up at the top, and then it goes down to yellow, cyan, green, that's teal, cyan, red, and blue. And each of those colors is processed differently, so this is the scale that we use to calibrate on the other stuff. This is what's called an audio card system. Whenever you saw that Doppler radar screen that I showed you earlier, we have, when we play that, we also have a piece of music that plays along with it. And,
I thought it was just one camera, one person.
No, there's a lot here, isn't there? So whenever our system plays out, the Doppler radar animation system, it also automatically hits play on this machine.
Sky Tracker Doppler Radar. Sponsored by Market Liquor, the best in-person and online wine and spirits shopping experience.
We play that twice an hour.
Why? What do you play?
That, what I just showed you.
Doppler radar.
He was really focusing on not touching anything. For another, until 49 after. We played it at 19 after, we played at 49 after. In TV, we also have what's called patch panels. These patch panels, don't do that. These allow us to, it's like a telephone switchboard. So whenever we need to route something to a different part of the station or something like that, we would take a patch panel and we plug it in from one end to another, and it completes a circuit. And that allows us to redirect the flow of electricity or redirect the flow of video from one location to another.
It's like a network patch panel. They deal with that a little bit, yeah.
Very similar.
Switches and network.
Yes. These are called frame syncs. A frame sync is something that delays video or speeds video up depending on what you need. So sometimes, sometimes you need video to arrive at a certain time, otherwise it doesn't look quite right. Because we're talking with video, everything's moving at the speed of light. And so if some things get delayed and other things get sped up, because of some sort of process in the system, you need to delay or speed up other pieces of video so they all come out at the same time on the other end so that they're all in sync. So these have dials on them and they're in the video path and they allow us to speed up or slow down or change aspects of the video.
Can we leave before I touch something?
Yes, let's go. Sometimes people are doing things that you'll interrupt on accident. So you see we have another teleprompter system here. This one is a remote teleprompter system. It's controlled by a small laptop.
Yeah, netbook.
So we can take this anywhere we want to. Whenever we need to do a live remote somewhere, we take it in the field and we can load up teleprompter scripts into it and see them on.
You got Windows running on there?
Huh?
You got Windows running?
Yeah, Windows XP running on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we bought it about a year ago and downloaded some teleprompter software onto it that was really cheap. We went with the cheap route for this one because we want it to be mobile and want to be able to move it around. What's up?
What on that computer? Why is the word backwards?
Very good question. So when you look at a mirror and you have writing on your shirt, does the writing appear forwards or backwards? Exactly. So when we look at something through a double mirror, we need to turn it around and flip it so it's backwards, so that when it bounces off the mirror, it comes out looking the right way.
Does this lady practice so she doesn't go too fast?
Yes, it takes some skill. Sometimes you have to practice it a lot beforehand.
I just messed up. I was like reading and then it got to the top and I tried to stop.
That's about all I could do.
Yes. Yep, they can see it, but it's hard for you to see it because they can't see it from this angle. Yeah.
So is this the sports?
Yes.
Because I see on the tape back there it says sports.
Yep. This is where they do their sports cast.
Oh, he's gonna buy the bills too? Who? The other dude that bought the favors?
No.
That's what it said. It lied.
Golisano said that if Ralph Wilson were to save the Bills, he would seriously consider buying them to keep them involved. That's what he said.
So funny.
He will buy the bills, Galifano?
He said he would.
Really?
Okay, so a decade after that, he'll sell them to Terry Pagula.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, because they don't want to put no money into it.
That's the lobby.
That's the problem. Nobody want to put no money into these clubs.
Yeah.
Can't have a winning team.
Well, that pretty much concludes the tour.
Excellent tour.
That's all we have. I hope that you guys got some education out of it. If there's any questions you have, let me know now. Cause,
I want to do this one.
No, Fatima.
See how others edit a video work?
It depends on what they're doing at the time.
They're busy right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's getting towards 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and usually people are kind of crunching. They're getting they want to put their stuff on the air, so we don't want to bug them too much.
Stop.
So I'm sorry, but I can assure you that using Sony Vegas is very, very similar to editing on our system. If you learned everything you needed to learn in Sony Vegas, you can probably translate those skills over here pretty easily. It would take very little training.
That's good to know.
Because, I mean, the truth is that nonlinear editing is very similar wherever you go.
I think the best thing with Vegas, though, is they allow the green screen thing.
Yeah.
They have the chromograph. Actually, you can do any color.
There is a green screen right there. We usually use that for headshots because you don't necessarily need to green screen live.
Yeah.
So you can green screen in post. So a lot of times a photographer comes in when he needs to do beauty shots of new talent, things like that. He'll come in and set up that green screen. He'll move it to the side and set up the green screen and then get shots of them and then edit out the green later to put in a YNN background behind them.
I'm thinking we can put a curtain in front of where the storage area is.
This is a manual camera.
You put a curtain there.
We got to get that color, though.
A little area back there.
So that it doesn't
We'll have to get that color, though.
Studio in front of it. You don't have